technically this is the right side to broadcast.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. How
You
do you
gotta- Well, I mean, even from a professional perspective, you should be the opposite side of the rink from the bench. So actually, this Robeson was built wrong for broadcast. Noah's always telling me about how pissed he's like, they spent all that money on that place, they didn't consult a single video guy.
The video is behind them.
It's behind the bench. It's the only rink. If you look across every game you watch, it's always broadcast from across so you can see the guys on the bench.
To take on game number 3 against the Utah Junior Grizzlies. The outcome of this game will determine the 1 and 2 seeds for this side of the bracket, and it will be these two teams you see on the ice right now, both coming into this match at 2-0. The other two teams in the bracket, neither one of them with a win, meaning that this will determine either an 8:15 game today or an 8:45. We are playing at the World Arena Big Rink, which means we're on Olympic size ice.
And there's no Wi-Fi, so Liger's not working.
You can connect to my hotspot. Olympic size sheet, same length, but you do get an extra 15 feet across. So in theory, what that means is less physical play, more speed and hand skill, but we'll see how that translates for our squad. Jalen is going to be between the pipes for your squad today. Starting off the match, it's going to be Easton in at center, Miles on the near side wing, Hunter on the far side, Marshall and Pie Man back on defense. Puck won back by the Junior Grizzlies. They'll take it to the far side, get it up ice there, can't contain the pass. Pie Man will take it back around the net and try and create space on this wide rink. He sends it back to Hunter on that far side. Hunter tries to tap it toward the streaking Easton, but can't connect, so we'll try again. Jack's working below the goal line, twists it again back the other direction. That puck comes into the slot. Marshall taps it out, but still there into the stick of the Tigers defender. Takes a bounce into the near corner. Puck possessed below the goal line by the Utah squad, and up the near side come your Tigers. Miles able to get it across to Hunter. Hunter into the zone for the first time in this game for the Tigers squad. Hunter's shot goes just high, tapped off the glove of the Utah goaltender. Hunter pushes that toward the net, but deflected up off a stick. Puck comes up the near boards. That'll go all the way down for an icing with 13:51 in the first period. 0-0 game still. Henry will take this drop. He'll be bracketed by Colton in front of the net, Brody on the boards. Back on the near defense, it's Tate with Jared on the far side D. Utah able to win that and rim it around far side. Makes it up as far as the blue line, but held there here on the first attempt by Jared, working to get it out again and do. are the junior Grizzlies. Tate sweeps that, but loses it. So now the Grizzlies able to possess, get it below the goal line. A couple of Grizz run into each other there, and so out the other way goes Henry. This extra space should bode well for a speed skater like him, and he is able to gain the zone, makes the stop at the blue line to try and turn, loses his skates. Grizzly skater taking it into a 3-on-1. He'll just backhand that weakly toward the goal. Jalen able to make that save. This is Cruin on the ice for your Tigers at defense, getting it up to Steven, who's joined the action. He's got AJ on that far side wing, as well as Teague working along the boards. Pass across to Josh from Cruin. Josh up to Teague. Teague takes the shot, misses wide near side. AJ going to be able to get that off those far side boards. Trying to create space, makes the pass through to Teague, but can't get his stick, so backhanded out of the zone by the Utah Grizzlies. Losing his skates there, but able to get it across is the Grizzly player, slapped up toward Cruin. Traffic at center ice. Steven able to shovel that over toward Teague. Key to this game is going to be the team that can settle in and use the extra space soonest. And offsides there means a face-off just outside the Tigers' offensive zone blue line. Taking that drop is going to be our goal-scoring line from yesterday. Gavin in at center, Jack on the far wing. Preston on the near wing. Marshall back in at defense on the near side D. Far side D is again Pieman, as Preston able to pin that in at center ice, but Utah able to jam it in deeper. Marshall rims that around for Pieman. Pieman's going to reverse direction, bring it back up near side, looking, able to saucer that up to Preston and out of the zone. Sent up the far side boards by Utah. They gain the zone cleanly, but swept back out the other direction. That goes slow enough and was sent that way by Utah, so no risk of an icing there. Up those far boards. And rimmed back around near side. Held in the corner by Preston, who's working to create space. Gavin works his way to the front. Jack goes in and misses on the first shot. Second goes into the legs of the goalies. So again, creating opportunities is that line of Gavin, Preston, and Jack today. Preston did go for a change as Utah's working in their offensive end. Miles has joined the action. Hunter on the ice as well for your Tigers. That's gloved by Gavin and then sticked out to the blue line, but that's it. It's hammered in, but not far, as there was a Tiger in front of that shot. This is Miles putting on good pressure and able to knock the puck carrier off. Utah just going to turn and send that up. This is Marshall sending it up near boards. Miles able to make the cross-ice pass off the stick of Hunter, but Easton able to get it, possessed, creating across the blue line. He'll dump it in deep where Miles is going to go work below the goal line. Utah makes the DDD pass, brings it back the other direction. And up those near boards. This is Tate now. Makes the move around the puck carrier, gets it to Miles. Miles gets it out to the far boards where Hunter is going to get it back in, and that's off the legs of the goalie. Tate winds up, takes a shot, misses wide far side. Couple of Tigers headed for a change here. Tate and Easton still on the ice. This is Brody picking up the pressure into the skates of Brody, but the Utah Grizzly player fresh onto the ice able to keep it that direction. That one goes off the side of the cage. Tate scoops it from there, comes up through traffic, couldn't get the pass off, but does finally get it out of the zone. Shot from the blue line there, sent to the far corner by Jalen. This is Jared picking up the puck and bringing it as far as center ice, now to the blue line. Puck comes up the near boards. This is Josh backhanding it toward the blue line for the Tigers. Colton picking up the pressure there. Now Henry working to get it deep into the zone for the Tigers. Race ensues to the corner. Henry loses his skates again. This is Brody working below the goal line. Now cycling over is Henry, but Utah able to make the pass up. Centering pass does not work there. Colton got in the way. Cruin working at center ice takes the contact. Utah will dump and change. This is Josh going to get it on the far end of the ice. He'll bring it up with his speed. He's got Steven along with him as well as AJ on that far side wing. AJ will stay back and cover the blue line with Josh going in deep. Josh then does sweep it down below the goal line where Steven's going to go to work. Lifted high into the netting. Steven trying to put himself in the box. No penalty was called. So they'll put Steven out at center. AJ in front of the net, Teague on the far side wing. It's going to be Marshall on your near side D. As that puck goes below the goal line, AJ goes, gets it, centering pass attempt made. AJ recollects, then loses, backhands it into the corner where Teague's going to have to go to work. Teague taps it to AJ. AJ tries to twist it, but does find its way into the corner and rimmed all the way around. Race ensues there. Sent in deep by Jackson. That's going to be sticked up into the netting by the goalie for another offensive zone for face-off for your Tigers. Henry, Brody, and Colton are going to be your forwards for this face-off. It is still Marshall on the near side D. I believe Jack's on that far side. Pie Man covering the blue line. As Colton goes to work, pinches off the player, then collects the puck, sweeps it below the goal line, goes to get it himself. Loses his skates. Had a little bit of help, hand in the back, but nothing that you would call there. That is jammed out of the zone. This is Henry working to get it, twists it back up those boards. Batted further by Brody, who's now racing to get there. Stick lifts works, but tangled up. Could be an interference there in my opinion, but they're going to let him play. Henry has it. Brody jams at it. Puck's still loose. Henry peels it out and buys space on the far side. Cycling in is Pie Man. Pie Man to Brody. Brody winds up, doesn't make the contact he wanted, but makes it over to Colton's stick. Colton's stick tied up by the Grizzly defender. Couldn't get a good shot there. Puck lifted out of the zone. This is Colton working to create for his squad, but taken off the puck by the Grizzlies player. Grizzlies now working below the goal line. And Colton and Tate converge on the puck carrier. Solid shot from the blue line there, misses wide near side. Tate sends that toward the center, always a bit dangerous, but Marshall able to bail out the team there. Puck comes up to the blue line, but not out. That's Preston on the far side D, Jack on the near side D, and Gavin in its center as another shot is taken from the blue line. Jalen will glove that dead for a defensive zone faceoff for the Tigers with 6:29 left in the first period. Tate will stay out on defense, joined by Jared. It's going to be Hunter, Easton, and Miles as your line of forwards. Puck is brought around near side. Miles has it, makes the centering pass to Jared. Jared gets it up ice to Hunter, who was waiting on the good side of the blue line for your Tigers. Rims around near side where Miles is going to try and peel it off the boards. Puck does make it up and out of the zone. This is Tate working it, pass across to Jared. Jared scans ahead, makes the pass to Easton, who works into the Tigers zone, but loses the puck. Then his skates knocked off the stick of the Utah player, but they are able to recollect and send that in. Didn't get it across the center line, so that will be an icing and an offensive zone faceoff for the Tigers. Steven set to take the drop with AJ on the boards. It'll be Teague in front of the net. Defense is going to be Josh on the near side, Cruin on the far side. Puck stays on the dot at the drop. Teague skates in and gets it. Backhand soft into the crease. Still loose there. AJ gets a shot. Steven's still working. Finally covered after a few opportunities for the boys. Nothing solid, but anything in the crease is good. 5:37 in this first period. AJ steps in, gets a shot there. Utah goalie equal to it as Teague lost his skates. Puck's still in the zone here. Steven working to maintain possession for his squad. Rims all the way around where Teague's going to be the first to it. He'll backhand it deeper into the zone. Zam corner is that the far corner. So puck took a funny bounce there, but nothing crazy to cause an impact on the play yet. This is Steven dumping it into the zone. Then he's going to go for a change. AJ's going to pressure as three new Tigers join the ice. AJ makes the centering pass, but no one there as they were just coming from the change. Henry eventually gets there. He's got Colton supporting him as he's working in the corner. Marshall is your near side D now. We've got Brody in front of the net waiting for that centering pass. Utah able to rim that around. But holding the zone is that far side D. I believe Cruin does finally come out. Brody going to turn and try and regain zone possession. Does find its way back to Cruin. Cruin solid eyes and good pass there. Gets it to Henry. Henry gains with that speed. Turns, tries the centering pass, and this will be a penalty assessed high stick against the Utah Junior Grizzlies squad. Your boys will have a man advantage with 4:17 in the first period. Here we go, power play 1 unit. Steven set to take the drop. He's got Henry in front of the net, Brody on the near side board, Josh will be your near side D, and Easton on the far side D. Brody gets that in, can't get it toward the net, however. Now Henry with the puck, trying to find a centering pass, being patient to see something set up, gets that to Steven. Steven and Henry running into each other. Steven will twist that back to Henry. Henry back to Steven as they're, oh, and a good centering pass there. That's a goal for Brody, so it'll be Henry to Steven to Brody on the power play goal with 3:53 in this first period. Your Tigers ahead 1-0. Face off here, that's going to be Jack in the corner, working it deep for your Tigers squad. Preston now working along with Jack. Gavin out there as the center. Marshall is on defense with Pieman as that goes all the way down for an icing with 3:30 in the first period. We'll welcome in any fans of this Utah Grizzly squad. Thank you for joining the broadcast. Hope you enjoy it. I'll try not to be too much of a homer for you. Gavin takes the drop. That's one back by the Utah Grizzlies squad. They'll rim it around far side. Now whacked back below the goal line. And Jack able to flash in and gather possession of that puck briefly. Working in the corner is Jack. He takes a bump and loses the puck to the Utah Grizzly player who turns it back near sideboards. First one there will be a junior Grizz. He's able to get it up as far as the blue line, but not out. Kicked out there by number 23 of the Grizz. Carried into the center ice by number 12. Couldn't get it across the blue line, could 12, but did on the second effort. Good shot by him, goes high of the net. Pinned to the boards there by Pieman. Sent up far side. Hunter and Gavin working. Utah comes in with it. Odd angle shot or tough angle shot jammed at the net by number 20 or 30 for your Utah Grizzlies squad. But the save made by the Tigers goalie Jalen to keep it 1-0 with 2:39 left in this first period. Out on the ice for your Tigers, it's going to be Easton in at center. Miles as your near side wing. This is Tate on defense, Jared on that far side. Tate gets it up to Miles. Miles tries to jam it across center ice, does find its way eventually onto Hunter's stick. Hunter gains the zone. That's deflected up high and possessed by Utah briefly. They couldn't get it out on the first attempt, but finally did on the second. Twisted towards center ice by Hunter. Miles able to collect the puck. And there is going to be a penalty behind the play on the Utah squad. I'm going to guess that's going to be an interference call as that puck gloved by the Utah goalie, and now the delayed penalty will be called with 1:57 in the first period. Tigers headed back to their second power play of this game. They were able to capitalize on the first. And I'm not seeing a signal. I think what happened is a couple of the boys got tied up at center ice, likely going to be calling an interference, possibly a trip. I think he called that a trip. Either way, it does result in 2 minutes. Steven out to take the face-off. He's got Henry has the puck off that face-off, skates around, takes a tough angle shot that the goalie for the Grizz was able to swallow up. Steven on the face-off, Henry in front of the net, Easton back on defense with Josh and Brody on the near side wing. Puck stays where it's at. Brody skates in and gets it, takes the shot, fought off by the Grizzly goalie. Puck sent into the corner, backhanded around near side. Henry not able to stop that one, so Josh having to skate and get it. Goes all the way into the Tigers' defensive end of the ice, pestered there by number 55 for the Grizzly squad. Josh loses his skates, so a good penalty kill effort here by this Grizzly squad. Number 55 for the Grizzlies sends it into the far corner. Josh fighting off the Grizzly player there. And finally, the Tigers get their numbers. Steven able to bring it back the other direction, gains the zone. Into the skates of a player. Easton jams out at the net. Brody tries on the second attempt, misses wide far side. Working below the zone, below the goal line is Easton. This is Brody now getting it in the corner. With 55 seconds left on the penalty, 50 seconds left in this first period. Henry has the puck on his stick. Couple of Tigers going for a change. This is Brody working to buy them time for that change. He has the puck below the goal line, trying to create space. AJ and Henry in front of the net. Now AJ working out to support along the boards. Henry had left. Cruin flashed toward the slot there. That'll get sent all the way down for an icing. And that'll stop the clock with 21 seconds left in this first period, 25 seconds left on the penalty for the Grizzlies. So if the Tigers can't take advantage on this power play, we would start the next period with a few seconds anyway on the penalty. Colton set to take the face-off. He's got AJ on his near side. He's got Miles on his far side. AJ steps in and has that face-off briefly. Colton gets it on the second attempt. That does make its way through to the goalie. AJ pass across there to Cruin. Cruin to Jack. Cruin to Pieman for the goal with 4.8 seconds left. Tigers 2 goals, both with the man advantage. That one's going to be AJ to Cruin to Pieman. Tigers power play unit at times has had its struggles, but today is on point, and they've been able to take advantage on both situations in this first period to go up 2-0. Finishing off the last 4.8 seconds of this first period is going to be Gavin, Preston, and Jack. And that will do it for period number 1. Tigers holding on to a 2-goal lead early in this affair. So as mentioned, this will dictate where these two teams go later today. Both teams will be playing as the winner will be the 1 seed, the loser will be the 2 seed. Both squads making the semifinals. The other side of the bracket, not quite as clear. The 3 teams still in play on that side. We've got Lafayette, who we're very familiar with. Have seen them a bunch here recently, especially. Lafayette sitting at 2-0-0. NOCO is 1-0-1. They did tie a team out of Kansas City in this tournament. So that Kansas City team is 0-1-1. And so the takeaway from that side, we'll keep an eye on scores later this afternoon. Lafayette is playing NOCO. If NOCO should win that one, things get a little bit more tricky. But if Lafayette, if Lafayette wins, it's a little more tricky. If NOCO wins, they would be the 1 seed at 2-0-1. If Lafayette wins, they would be the 1 seed at 2-1. And in that situation, the 2 seed would be either Lafayette or, excuse me, so it's going to be, I'm trying to think through math and make sure we're doing it all right here. Either way, we know we're going to be 1 or 2. We'll likely either play Lafayette or NOCO, but KC could be in the mix there. All that said, let's take care of business right here. Steven's set to take the opening drop of this second period. AJ will be his near side wing. Colton Teague will be his far side wing. Pie Man back on defense, joined by Marshall. And the takeaway for both the home and the away team here should be these boys are playing again later today. Face-off one to the side, overskated by AJ, but stepping up to pick it up is Pie Man. He absorbs the contact, but gets the puck into the zone for the Tigers. AJ goes to try to take a hit. He needs to stay a little bit lower as he went down. AJ gets the puck briefly, working along these near boards. Puck finds its way to the face-off dot. Now AJ collects it, runs into his own man there, twisted back on that far side boards by, I believe, Marshall. Marshall now working in the corner there with Stevens' support. And that is where the Zam door is, so things get a little hairy, but this is Teague able to get it. Didn't see a way to get it out of the zone, so jammed it back into the corner. Now Steven carrying it up as far as the half boards. Utah has it on their stick, but can't do much with it due to the pressure. He's on his knees, now on his back. Steven working between a couple of Utah Grizzly players, supported by Marshall. And that puck is pinned. Does come up the boards. Now Steven able to tap it to Teague, and Teague gets it out as far as center ice. Utah will send it off the near side boards. A couple players from each team going for a change. This is Pie Man carrying it up. Reverses direction. Broken stick on the, well, at least a lost stick on the ice. This is Brody working. Now makes its way to Marshall. Marshall on the cross ice pass where Colton will jam the puck into the zone. Henry works below the goal line. Colton can't collect that one, so the other direction we go for Utah. This is Tate working, and this will be a penalty. Cook against your Tigers with 13:33. So the Utah Grizz get their first chance at a man advantage in this second period. We'll see if they can do what the Tigers have done, and that's score when they have the extra man. Out for the Tigers to try and prevent that is going to be Josh, Cruin, Easton, and Hunter. Number 12 for the Grizzlies, set to take the drop. That puck is won back by the Tigers into that Zamdor corner where Josh brings it around below the goal line. Cut off on the near side goal line by the Grizzly squad. Josh able to work through a couple of Grizzly players. Finally, the Grizzlies able to possess and have it on that far side corner. Knocked off the stick of the Grizzly player briefly. Number 12 able to get it up to the blue line, loaded up and shot on that. Does get through. Jalen able to get that fought into the corner, sent again in by the player number 20, the defender. This is 55 back to 20. 20 able to hold the blue line, sends it wide near side. Came off the boards where number 12 had a backhand opportunity off the side of the net. This is Cruin sending it up again to number 20, who sends it into the skates of Easton, and that'll be an offsides with 12:37 in the second period. 1:04 left on the penalty assessed to Colton. Working on the second half of this penalty, it's going to be Teague and Henry up front, Jared and Marshall in back. Puck drop won by the Grizzlies. Couldn't backhand it in there. Finally does gain the zone. Now into the corner. Jared going to work. Twists it up. Joining the action there was Henry. Does make its way to the blue line for the Grizzlies. Centering pass does finally make its way through to number 74, who misses wide far side. Sent back to number 74, who sweeps it across to his defensive partner. That's misses wide near side. Rims around behind the net where Jared tries to tap it out. Centering pass can't get through clean. Jared's back on the effort, collected by the Grizzlies. Back to number 74. He decides not to take the shot, makes the pass to 24, who can't gather the hopping puck. And here goes Henry the other direction on a shorthanded opportunity. Misses high as we're down to 10 seconds remaining on the penalty to Colton. Couple of changes coming for the Tigers. Looks like Cruin on the ice at defense. Steven joins the action up front with Henry, and that will do it. We are back full strength. Colton headed across with speed. He'll hit the bench, and it'll be AJ, Steven, and Easton on for the Tigers. AJ misses on the centering pass, does get it across the center, the crease there, but nobody home. Steven bats it toward the net, and the Utah goalie will cover that up with 11:06 in the second period. Tigers protect a 2-goal lead, 2-0. Steven will take the drop. He's going to have AJ in front of the net, Easton on the far side wing. Cruin back on defense with Josh. Easton able to step in and get that. Josh tries to hammer that through traffic, does get tangled up. Second attempt finds its way below the goal line, twisted up and out of the zone. Tigers are going to have to work to go get it. Cruin able to get there. Stick lift by 18 does slow him down. Now the puck in the corner. This is 47 working against Steven. Steven and Josh below the goal line for your Tigers. Steven gets it turned up on that far side. Easton kicks it far enough to get it out of the zone, but regained there by the Grizzly player, number 25, who sends it in and goes to get it himself. Sorry, number 55. Couple of Utah players pinning a couple Tigers to the boards. Puck does come out. AJ sweeps it, but can't possess. Sent back into Steven. Steven's just going to get that out as far as center ice. D-to-D pass there, number 15 for the Grizzly misses on the first attempt, does get it into the zone eventually, although offsides for the Grizzlies with 10:01 in this second period. Coach will send out a fresh 5. It will be Gavin, Jack, and Preston up front. It'll be Pieman back on defense, joined by, I believe, Marshall. That puck stays where it's at. Gavin able to jam it up and into the zone for the Tigers, and he works to go get it. 23-on-23 action in the corner. And this is, that was Preston jamming it back to Gavin. Gavin skating it around to the other side of the net, jams it up into the slot, but takes a bounce to the far side. Marshall able to collect it, tries to lift that up, but ends up in the Tigers bench, and will be a center ice faceoff with 9:33 in the second. Pyman and Marshall still on defense for your Tigers. Gavin, Jack, and Preston up front. Number 43 skates through, gains the zone for the Grizz. Knocked off the puck there by Pyman. Number 48 skates in, but loses his skates in the corner. Pyman and Jack are working there. Utah able to possess the puck, but then knocked off, sent up the near side boards, now rimmed around back into the corner, where Pyman able to get it, and he'll slow things down behind the net. Tries to find Jack on this near side. Good stick by the Grizzlies. Holds the zone. Creates an opportunity there. Tigers trying to fight out of a self-created situation here. Gavin finally able to get it out of the zone for the Tigers. This is Jack working at center ice to get it as far as the red line. Does squirt out to that far side. Marshall will sweep it over to Miles, who is able to get on the ice, and that's on to the net. Goalie for the Grizzlies swept that out. A little bit dangerous as there was a crashing Tiger, but it worked out. Tate now with the puck on the far end of the ice. He's got Jared as his defensive partner. Full change for the Grizzlies there. Easton able to tap that puck to prevent the icing. It's Easton, Hunter, and Miles on the ice as your forwards. That's Miles making the contact on the far boards. Hunter now working. Puck squirts out, and the only one there is the Grizzlies. They send it near side onto the stick of the waiting Tate. And that puck goes into the zone. Does bounce out, and here we go the other direction. Boys looking to pick up the contact a little bit on both sides. That puck bounces toward Jalen, but swept aside by Jared before it made it to the goalie. Grizzlies able to walk that to the center, but knocked off the puck there, and this is Miles headed the other way. He's got Hunter on his near side. Gains the zone clean, tries to take the shot, hits the Grizzly player in front of him, taking a swing and losing his skates is Jared, and so that'll create an opportunity the other direction. 2-on-1, pass not able to be handled, so the Tigers get away with one there. Jared able to skate around and get that out, and that will be an offsides with 7:08 in the second period. Henry set to take the face off. He's got Brody on his near side, Colton on the far side. Cruin back on defense with Josh. And that'll be an offsides. Or a whistle. I think someone lost their helmet, which they'll blow the whistle immediate. That's a safety hazard, so you've got to blow dead as soon as a helmet pops off. Puck finds its way to Colton's stick. He backhands that into the zone. This is Brody going to go work below the goal line. Manned off of the puck there, but Colton able to sweep it toward Henry. Then knocked down by Colton, who misses that shot high. Rims all the way out of the zone. Cruin working to go get it. He'll try and get that up the near boards. Good stick by number 18 of the Grizzly. He collects it, takes it far side, gets it back to his defenseman. Tries to get it back to 18, can't. Now Colton the other direction. He's got Henry, and good save by the Grizzly goalie. Good game so far. You hate to see this kind of thing, as both teams have been playing a clean game. I like the offsetting here. The Tigers player Henry that had flashed in and kind of took a little bit of a stick too. I don't know that he hit the goalie, but no reason to go in and do that. And then the roughing for the Grizzlies player that came in to protect his goalie. Right way to call it, offsetting there. Keep things calm. We're still 5-on-5 hockey with 6:26 in the second period. Steven set to take the face off. AJ in front of the net. Teague on the near side wing. Pieman back on defense with Marshall. As the puck does make it up and out of the zone, this will be Marshall skating back to go get it. Brings it back near side to Pieman. Pieman takes it up center ice because the room was there. He gains the zone, loads up, and puts it into the skates of number 74 in front of him, who goes and gets it, sends it around far side. Teague working behind the net on a bouncy puck. And we'll have a rough on Stevens, so the Tigers headed to the power penalty kill. And one of those things you got to keep an eye on. If it does start getting chippy, the refs will start calling it tighter. So with 6 minutes left in this second period, the Tigers again having to head to the penalty kill. It's going to be AJ out with Teague up front. It'll be Cruin and Josh, I believe, on defense. Teague able to jam that as far as the blue line. This is AJ pestering, and now the other direction. He just tries to dump it in, but hits number 15 in front of him. Now Teague working on the far side. Teague rides the puck carrier off. A protective pad comes off the glass on the far side, so they will have to blow that one dead to reset the rink. And the purple seat arena is showing its age. Probably need to put some new tape on that red pad. 5:42 in this second period, a 1:42 left on the penalty assessed to Steven. Both players in those offsetting penalties will come out sooner if there's a whistle. Easton goes out with Henry as your forwards at this point in the penalty kill. It's going to be Marshall and Jared on defense as number 55 for the Grizz shovels it backhand up the ice. Good stick there by Jared to send it right back out of the zone the other direction. That's exactly what you want to see. On a penalty kill is the puck on the other end of the ice. This is Easton now working to pressure in the offensive zone corner. Grizzlies able to collect. Easton on the back check here. Able to stick lift, but 55 able to gain the zone for the Grizzlies. 12 now sliding in along the boards. Easton working on number 55. As we are under a minute, 56 seconds left on the penalty. 55 and 12 in the corner. 55 with the stick, sends it up to number 20, who tries to send it back into the corner. I think he was looking for 55 there. 12 to 55 here. Now to 20. 20 winds up and hits traffic in front. Does not get that shot through. Kicked out of the zone by Hunter for your Tigers. And we are now at 30 seconds on the penalty to Steven. This is Marshall whacking it to the far side of the ice. Again, this Olympic sheet 15 feet wider. The walk in there effective, but shot misses high and rims all the way out of the zone. AJ back on the ice as the final 10 seconds of the penalty approach. Rimmed around the other way. This is going to be Teague with plenty of time and space. He sees AJ at center ice and hits him with a good pass. Steven joins the action. AJ winds up a shot, hits number 23. So does not get through. AJ peels it off the boards here, dances in, knocked off his stick. Steven on the second attempt hits the defender in front of the net for Utah. Dumped back in deep by Tate. Tate and Josh are your defenders. This is Teague with the puck, tries to backhand it in, deflected to AJ, but kept high in the zone by the Grizz, who are finally able to get it out to Josh at center ice. Josh will hammer that back home into the offensive zone for the Tigers. This is Steven going to work in the near corner, backhanded to the other side. Now sent out to the blue line. That's headed all the way down and will make it for an icing with 3:12 in the second period. Tigers protecting a 2-0 lead. So the boxes are emptied there. With that whistle, the offsetting penalties are able to head to the bench. It's going to be Gavin taking the face off, Preston on the near side, Jack on the far side. It'll be Pieman back on defense, joined by Marshall. Preston flashes in to try and get that, but whacked out to the other end by the Grizzlies. This is Pieman gathering the puck, reverses direction, trying to bring it up near side. Dangerous through center ice, backhand works to Jack to get it out of the zone. Jack working along those boards, now joined by Gavin, who had it but twisted it back to the waiting Grizzly player. Sent in below the goal line. This is number 55 working to possess. He's got space, sends it into the skates of a waiting Tiger player, number 55, with the puck whacked toward Jalen. He'll smother that dead with 2:36 in the second period. Defensive zone face-off coming. It's going to be Brody, Colton, and Henry up front. It'll be Jared in back, joined by Tate. Henry wins that to the corner where Jared's going to go send it around to Tate. Tate has Colton up the ice, but can't get it past the Grizzly player at center ice. Henry loses his skates trying to settle the puck. Now Henry does collect it in the neutral zone. Knocked off the puck, but does get it to Brody. Brody can't collect it, so good physicality from this Grizzly squad, preventing much opportunity for the Tigers. Backhanded into the zone. This is Colton going and getting it. He'll rim it around to Tate. Tate sends it up to Henry. Henry pulls back, gets it up to Brody at center ice. Brody able to get it into the zone, but not with possession. This is Easton fresh on the ice, tries to go through center, loses the puck, but Jared able to load up a shot. Kick saved by the Grizzly goalie. Comes all the way to Tate. He holds the puck in the zone on the first attempt, but not the second. And looks like another penalty to Colton with 1:31 in this second period. That's going to be penalty number 3 to the Tigers in this period. Looks like he called a hook on that one. Out to try and kill this penalty is going to be Miles and Easton up front. It'll be Cruin and Josh back on defense. Utah able to win that back. Miles gets it across the blue line. Does regain the zone due to the Grizzlies, but Easton gets it, sends it up off the glass and out of the zone. Miles goes to pressure, able to get it into the Tigers' end of the ice. So Utah going to have to go the full length. Number 15 able to gain the zone for the Grizzlies, gets it into the corner, reverses direction there, worked on by Josh. Number 24 has it below the goal line. Picking up the pressure is Cruin. And Cruin able to come away with the puck. He'll send it up off the glass, but only as far as the blue line where number 15 had reset. He gets the shot through. Jalen with the save there. Cruin working in the corner by himself. Easton steps in below the goal line, avoids the contact there. Now Josh picking up the pressure. And a good stick by Miles. But can't get it out of the zone, can the Tigers. Now Josh sends it off the near boards, not quite the angle he was looking for. It will go for an icing, but with 25 seconds left in this second period, probably not a bad move to get some new legs on the ice and try and get us out of this second period with a 2-goal lead. It's going to be Steven and AJ as your forwards, Jared and Marshall back on defense. Puck won back by Utah. 74 loads up. That hits a stick, then the handle of Jalen's stick. Utah looking, able to create here in the waning seconds of this second period is Utah, although pestered at the blue line. Jared has it, backhands it out of the zone. And that will do it for period number 2 of action as we head to the third and final frame of game number 3 for both these teams. Your Tigers protecting that 2-goal lead, both goals coming on the man advantage. There will be 50, I believe it was, penalty is not on the board right now. I believe there was 56 seconds left on the scratch app. Might have been 36 seconds left on the penalty assessed to Colton. We'll double check that. I'm sure they'll get it up on the board the correct way once the third period starts.
Game,
Not bad.
right? Just as long as they keep it clean.
I do like what the refs have been doing.
Yeah,
We're
right.
live, by the way, just in
Nice.
case, so you know. And I think we
Awesome.
shared the link with some of your folks.
Yes.
So I've been trying to call out numbers so they can see
Perfect.
who's touching the puck. And
Right?
but yeah, no, I think when it got
Is that a
started
good
getting
physical-
chippy, I like the offsetting.
Yeah.
I like that they're making our boys keep it clean and
Nice.
don't let it get out of hand. This is
Oh, yeah.
good.
Yeah, real good.
Better than Rampage, huh?
Yeah, way better.
Colton back to the box. Penalty time still missing, but if I do remember, it was about 36 seconds, give or take, left on the penalty. AJ and Steven will be out as your forwards. It's going to be Marshall and Jared on defense. Puck tangled up. Jared finally able to collect it. He swats it up towards Steven. Now AJ tries with the stick lift, but number 90 for Utah able to throw it into the zone. Jared's going to be first one there below the goal line for the Tigers, trying to send it up near side, but number 12 for Utah has it, knocked off the puck. This looks to be 0-0, doing some dancing in the slot, but lifted up and out of the zone by Marshall there. Will go to the other end, but not far enough for an icing, and Colton is out of the box. Tigers back to full strength. Flashing through there was Teague. He couldn't collect the puck, but dumped to the far end, and a full change for the Utah squad as Jared gets the puck. Looks up ice at 5 black jerseys skating at him, all fresh legs. AJ makes the contact there, makes the change. This is Jared working, sends it across to Marshall. Marshall will backhand that up toward Teague, but collected by number 42 for Utah, who's knocked off the puck by Teague. Teague comes the other direction. Centering pass, or excuse me, cross ice pass made there to Jack. So it's Jack, Gavin, and Preston as your forwards. And that'll be an offsides with 13:41 in this third period. I think 18 wanted to argue the offsides there. Ref said no. Either way, we have a face-off. 74 fires it into the defensive end of the Tigers' ice. Brought up near side corner. Puck comes out. Gavin can't quite get there. Number 18 for Utah has it, sends it toward the net, misses wide far side. This is Cruin going to battle on the corner, gets the puck, sends it across near side to Josh. Josh has time and space, taps it up to Preston. Preston will take it up near side, gets it across center ice, and will dump and chase. Whacked around to the far side. This is Jack, I believe, on the that's Hunter fresh onto the ice. Twisted it towards center ice, but nobody home. Miles has joined the action for the Tigers as Utah brings it up through center ice. Gavin knocks him off the puck and gains the zone for the Tigers. Gavin misses wide near side, rims around where Hunter is going to go to work. He taps it to Miles. Miles takes the contact back toward the blue line, but Easton, fresh onto the ice, steps to it. Easton digs it out of that Zamdor corner. Miles now has it, looks for the centering pass, decides to send it to Jared at the blue line. Jared sweeps it, dusts it off a little bit, and then can't get it deeper into the zone as Tate now has it in neutral ice. Sends it up to Hunter, who sweeps it toward Miles but can't connect on that pass. That's going to go all the way to the other end for an icing. 12-14 in the third period. It's going to be Henry, Colton, and Brody up front. It'll be Pie Man and Marshall back at the blue line. Puck is won back to Marshall. Marshall gets a centering pass to Colton. Colton on a nice backhand shot, but deflected up high by the goalie of the Grizzlies. This is Pie Man working on that far side, leaves it for Brody. Brody loses his skates. Good stick by Pie Man to hold the zone. Marshall able to whack that out to the far side where Colton's going to get it. He twists it back toward Pie Man. Pie Man jams it in toward Brody, but a hoppy puck in this third period can't be collected. That's sent in wide near side by Marshall. Trying to just twist that out was Utah, but good stick there. Able to hold the zone was Pie Man. Rimmed back around near side. This is Brody just trying to create with this offensive zone opportunity for the Tigers. That's Marshall sending it back around. Again, whacked at and finally does get out of the zone. So both teams will make some changes here. While Pie Man and number 24 battle, Pie Man comes away with it but turns back into the pressure, which creates a turnover. And a good opportunity there. 24 misses that shot high. This is Steven on the ice for the Tigers at center, working along those far side boards. Twisted into the center. The only one there was Marshall. He sends it back out to the far side boards. Steven working. Brody finally able to possess and get it out of the zone for the Tigers. Met at center ice. A couple of people making a change. That's Josh sending it across. I believe that's Marshall sending it all the way down, and that will be an icing with 10:26 in this third period. Tigers protecting a 2-goal lead. Tigers hoping to get something done at full strength here. They'll send out Henry at center with AJ out on the wing with Teague. It's Cruin on defense with Josh. Josh taps that up the boards, but sent back in below the goal line by the Grizzly squad. That's Henry sending it across far side to Cruin, who's going to dance it up the ice. He's pinched off the play where the Grizzly defender will have it on the far side. He's pressured loosely by Teague, sent D to D. Then back the other direction. AJ able to pinch the puck off the boards there and hold the zone. Does find its way to his stick, now to Henry's. Henry skates it in on that far side, runs into the side of the cage. Teague working below the goal line to try and maintain possession of the zone for his Tigers. AJ skates in but can't get there quite soon enough. The Grizzlies will lift that up, batted down by I believe it was Cruin at the blue line. Does finally make its way out, and this is Cruin just not able to fight through the contact there. And so number 93 for the Grizzlies throws it at the net. Jalen blockers that into the corner. Good battle here. Josh able to whack that up as far as center ice. Jack works on that puck carrier, but able to get it in is number 55, I believe. Josh has the pressure on him. Number 55 to 20 here as Gavin picks up the pressure. Your forward lines are Gavin, Jack, and Preston at this minute for your Tigers. Josh and Tate are your defenders, although Josh headed for a change. It'll be Tate and Jared back on the blue line as Jack works on the near boards in the Tigers' offensive end of the ice. Able to work the breakout are the Grizzlies. This is number 47. He's got 18 in front of the net as well as 12. He's got speed below the goal line. Jared is pressuring there and able to take 42 out of the play is Jared. Gavin now working below the goal line, makes the pass to Tate. Tate gets it up to Jack. Jack taps it to center ice. Can't quite connect with Preston, who was flashing through the middle. Easton on at center as both wings headed for a change here as well. And Jared able to prevent a little bit of an opportunity off a bad change. Miles on the ice with Easton and Hunter. Miles able to find Hunter on a good pass, but Hunter can't settle it down to get the shot. Hunter collects below the goal line, twists it through the crease, but nobody home for that one. This will be Jared in the neutral zone, surveying his options, sends it up to Hunter, but knocked off Hunter's stick. Jared on the second chance, able to send that into the Tigers' offensive end of the ice. Rimmed around near side, and that will make its way back out. Tate has the puck. Pressured there by number 24, but able to get it across to Jared. Jared up to Hunter. Hunter gains the zone, sticked aside by the Grizzly goalie. This is Easton going to work below the goal line with 7 minutes left in this game. Easton sends that to AJ fresh on the ice. Scratch at Brody fresh on the ice for the Tigers. And that puck goes all the way down. They'll say no icing, so Marshall going to have to go get it. Pieman is your other defender. Marshall sends that up to Brody. Brody able to glove that one down. Now Pieman picking up the pressure on the puck. Colton, Brody, and Henry are your forwards. This is Henry with possession. He'll backhand that to Marshall. Marshall sends it up to center ice. Brody was there. Brody will dump it into the zone. Henry going to work below the goal line with the support of Brody. Brody knocks the Grizzly player out of the play. Henry gets the centering pass, but the only one there was a Grizzly uniform. Pieman able to dump that back in deep. Henry with some good pressure there, trying to maintain the zone for his Tigers, but a cross ice breakout works here. And gaining with some speed is 0-0. He reverses direction. Colton able to knock him off the puck so that Marshall can send it up towards Steven at center ice. It is Steven, Colton, and AJ on the ice up front for your Tigers. Marshall and Pieman as your defense. 0-0 during work. He shovels it across to that far side where Pieman's going to go work it up the far boards. Steven helping out there. So Steven and Pieman with a couple of Grizzly players on the boards. And able to sweep it past is AJ, but number 15 with a good stick to send it back to the far boards and into the zone for the Grizz. This is number 12 working below the goal line. He's able to get a centering pass, but no Grizzly players there. Puck still bouncing around. And they say not offsides. AJ working to try and regain possession, but finds its way onto the Grizzly player's stick. Now Easton able to peel it off. Number 18 the other direction. He's going to skate into a bunch of Tigers. 47 was behind him. Couldn't find him. He'll send that across, but stayed on the blue line, but 74 couldn't quite collect it. This is Teague tapping it to Easton and going for the change. Easton, Hunter on the ice up front with Miles. This is Cruin dumping it back in deep for the Tigers. So Cruin, Josh back on defense with 4:24 in this third period. That puck will go all the way down, was touched up, so no icing. This is Cruin working in the corner against number 24. Cruin able to come away with it, taps it up to Miles. Miles gets that as far as the blue line, but not out. Easton able to stick that down, keep it from getting through to Jalen. This is Cruin getting it up to Hunter. Hunter gets it as far as center ice, backhanded up high by the Grizzly player who's headed for a change. And this is now Easton working in the corner. He loses it but regains. Sends it up to Miles, and it doesn't stay on Miles' stick but gets back to the neutral zone. Miles stays second man in the play, usually gets there, but now Colton putting in the work. Scratch at Brody, takes a shot into the skates, leaves it for Tate. Tate winds up through traffic, misses that one high. That is Colton on the far side, twisting it below the goal line. Henry going to go to work with 3:14. Makes the pass to Colton, but it was a backhand for Colton, so he couldn't settle that one down. Henry working below the goal line here. And kicked into the corner by the Utah squad. Comes up to the blue line. Tate able to pinch the player off so that Henry could collect the puck. Henry makes the pass to Colton. Brody takes the shot, kicked aside by the Grizzly goalie. Jared sends it back in wide near side, where Tate's going to go peel it off the boards. And Utah just going to send that to the other end. It'll be an icing with 2:32 remaining in this third period. Tigers hanging on to a 2-goal lead, both of those coming in the first period on the man advantage. Preston, Jack, and Gavin headed out up front. Marshall and Pyman will be your defensemen. Puck is won into the corner by Utah. Number 20 gets it there and rims it around the far side for number 93. Pyman able to get there, though, and send it toward the net into traffic. Puck loose, then sent back in deep by Marshall. Misses wide near side. Puck bounces out where Jack whacks at it. Sends it back below the goal line for the Tigers, then goes and puts pressure on himself. Sent back in deep by number 93 for the Grizzly. And just trying to get the breakout here are the Grizzlies. They're able to possess with speed, send it up ice where number 12 was there. Centering pass attempt made. Odd angle shot, actually, and Jalen had to fight that one off a little bit, but did keep it out of the net. This is Marshall jamming it up the near boards for Preston. Preston working, that is twisted back to Marshall, who sends it across ice toward Jack, does get it out of the zone, sent in again by the Grizzly. Pyman gonna go work it, sends it around for Marshall. Marshall can't get the power on that he wanted to, but a deflected shot comes out to AJ, and he's gonna go the other way. Able to beat the first guy, but not the next two. Steven, the second man there, able to possess the puck, knocked off his stick by 74. Now battling on the boards are Steven, 74 and 55. 55 comes away with it, sends it around near side. Chipped up the boards, and that will go all the way down. They say no icing. Under a minute left to play in this game. That goes to Steven. Steven loses possession, but regains in the corner. He'll rim that around to Josh. Josh has space and he'll take it. Josh gains the zone for the Tigers. He's got AJ in front if he can create some space. Cannot, but still maintains possession. So now on the second effort, wraparound attempt there by Josh. Puck loose at the side of the cage. That's Josh and Steven whacking at it. 24 seconds remaining in this third period. Tigers trying to make it a 3-goal lead. Making a change up front for the end of this game. It will be Easton out on wing. Henry is your center. Hunter as your near side wing. Josh, it does look like it'll be a timeout for the Utah Grizzlies squad to see what they can do with the remaining 24 seconds in this match. So if things finish as they look right now, your Tigers would be the number 1 seed and be playing at 8:45 tonight at the Air Force Academy Fieldhouse. These Utah Grizzlies will play at 8:15 against the 1 seed out of the A bracket. Still some games to decide what that 1 and 2 seed look like on the other half. Going to be some combination of NOCO, Lafayette, or the KC team. Largely dependent on the results of the Lafayette versus NOCO game. I believe it won 15 today. After the timeout, coach sending out a different look line for his squad. 24.6 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be AJ in front of the net. Easton will be out with Henry. I assume that's going to be Henry on the face-off, Easton on the far side wing. Josh and Jared will be back protecting the blue line as the boys talk it over. Puck is one into the corner. Easton is going to go to work there, trying to rim it around, but AJ cuts it off, makes a centering pass. Easton gets a shot. Another attempt there by AJ. That's just sent out, but Jared able to keep it deep for the Tigers as we count to 10 seconds remaining in this match. Easton working in to scratch that. Henry working in the corner, sends it at the net, hits top shelf. That will make it 3-0 with 3.5 seconds left, and that will do it for this match. Your Tigers will head into the semifinals as the #1 seed out of the B bracket. I don't know if he did or not. So a great shot by Henry, beat the goalie high to finish this one off. Well played match by both squads, good effort on both sides. And we wish the best of luck to the Utah Junior Grizzlies as they head into the semifinals as the #2 seed. They'll be playing, as I mentioned, at 8:15 tonight against the #1 seed from the other side. We hope you enjoy your trip to Colorado. For those that are home, sorry you couldn't join us. For the Tiger fans in it listening, we'll talk to you again at 8:45 this evening.